Good morning, YouTubers. It is Wednesday, January 6th, and this morning I weighed 289 pounds, 0.2, and that is pretty good for me because that is a weight loss from last week of 2.4 pounds, which is right on par with where I want to be, and very, very cool, considering the week that I had, which was not really up to par hydration-wise or food-wise a couple of days, and also exercise-wise a few days as well. I did get my butt kicked at the gym yesterday by my boss, and she is an extremely, extremely hardcore person, and going to the gym with her was no less hardcore than working for her. I did 5 minutes on the elliptical, which everybody's like, 5 minutes. I do 55 minutes on the elliptical, but that's a really hard machine for me because it feels like the rotation that it goes on isn't long enough, like isn't big enough for the length of my legs. So it was kind of a big deal. I wasn't going to get on it at all, and she said 5 minutes, so I did 5 minutes, and about halfway through I felt like I was dying, but I lived, because I'm here. And we did some time on the treadmill. We did some of the weight training machines, which I have never done before, and it was kind of cool. There was a little argument about me laying on my stomach with my butt in the air, but I did it anyways because she's hardcore, and I don't know if it's because I liked the challenge that I gave into her most of the time when we argued about what I was going to do and what I wasn't going to do, or because she's my boss and secretly kind of scared of her. Anyways, on to some other things. I've got a list here. I'm trying to be concise. I don't even know if I already said I had a list, but just so you know, I've got a list. I caught an episode of The Biggest Loser last night, the season premiere. I've heard a lot about it, but I didn't know that it is an elimination show. What is with that? Like, how are... people can succeed at home. I know that they can because we do. Look at the YouTube weight loss community. There are people here with really great success stories. But I know myself how easy it is to go somewhere like a writer's retreat or like a youth group thing or like somewhere where all you have to think about while you're there away from your life is your goal, like having a closer relationship with God or, you know, writing, like honing your craft every day, that kind of thing. And then you get home and you fall right back into the daily grind and it's like nothing ever happened. So I don't know. Of course, there was the guy, the twin brother James that got sent home last night. He was extremely, extremely motivated, and he's lost 100 pounds in 2 months. But I don't think that it would necessarily be the same for everybody. Some people just can't. And some people need that. And so I didn't realize it was an elimination show, and it kind of stinks that they break up the partners, but whatever. They kept saying, you know, we have the biggest contestants that we've ever had, and they had the one fellow, Michael, and he was over 500 pounds, and he broke the 500-pound barrier. He went under 500 pounds last night at his weigh-in, which I thought was really amazing. And the coaches are kind of jerks. I found the way that they talked in the private camera interviews when they weren't talking to the contestants was a little bit derogatory. Anyways, they said, you know, we have the biggest contestants and it's so daunting and blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I think that people who are 500 pounds or 400 pounds or 350 pounds, they are the most motivated. If they can get the start, like going on a show like that or having a scare or anything like if they get the kick, I think that they can be the most motivated of anybody because they've seen firsthand how scary it is to be where they are. And speaking of sad that it's sad, I was crying just about the whole way through it. I'm kind of an emotional person and kind of hormonal right this minute. So it was, I was just about bawling through the entire thing, like when they were talking to the mother and, you know, you've never put anyone... You know, you've never put yourself ahead of anyone, blah, blah, blah. And so I was bawling. And then when they were telling their stories, like, you know, I've always been fat and who could love a 400-pound man? I've never been in love and all this sort of thing. Well, I've never been in love. 24 years old, I've never been in love. And I've always settled for the guys that if they showed an interest in me, then it was a worthwhile venture for me because... hey, how often is that going to happen? But I had a little revelation this summer. and a huge shot of self-confidence. I don't know where it came from. And I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not settling anymore. And so, yay me. Because I love myself enough not to settle. And so that's just how it's going to be. Which leads me kind of to, I have a wee bit of a moral conundrum going on here. I really love like what Joy Nash does, talking about, you know, fat people. It's okay to talk about fat people. I'm not brave or amazing or anything for coming on here and talking about how I used to weigh 325 pounds or how I still tip the scales at 289 pounds. I'm not brave. I'm not awesome. There's nothing wonderful about me. I'm just being honest. And people don't talk about it anymore. It's like it's taboo. Like you don't want to say fat. I mentioned it in my written blog. Fat for me is a descriptive word. I'm a writer. So fat is the same as saying that that guy is tall or that woman is dark or, you know, it's just a descriptor. It's not derogatory. So when I refer to myself as a fat girl, it's not self-loathing or hate or anything like that. And it never will be. Down the road when I lose 100 pounds and I'm on the Tyra Banks show or Ellen or something like that, I want to be that girl that looks at that picture of herself at her original weight, and I'm going to drag up one from when I was 325 pounds. Bet your bottom dollar. I'm not going to be the one who, you know, looks at the camera and looks at the picture of themselves and says, well, that was a sad woman and she was crying out and blah, blah, blah. Hell no. Wait, can I say hell? I already said it. Anyways, no. That was me. And I loved her then. And I love her now. And if she was still that, I would still love her. People need to think that way. It scares the crap out of me when I see people with so much self-loathing for their fat selves once they become skinny. It's scary. And it's really, really sad. So anybody out there who's on this weight loss journey with me or with, you know, the Shea Loss stuff or any of those guys out there doing it, please take the time to love yourself now. Because this is as good as you will be when you lose 100 pounds. The person that you are inside needs to be looked after as much as the person that you are on the outside. And you can't be regretful. I don't regret anything. I don't regret being 325 pounds. I'm losing weight because I want to be a more effective horseback rider. I would be perfectly happy if I stayed the weight that I was. I love myself. The way that I am now, the way that I will be in the future, the way that I am if I would be 400 pounds. That's just how it is. And I wish that more people had that self-confidence. And I wish I was able to become a more effective horseback rider. Still be fat. I want to lose the weight, but I also want to be in on the fat revolution that's going on, because I have a body, you have a body, BFD, we have bodies, they're different, it doesn't matter. And I wish that more people would think that way. Nobody was ever really cruel to me as a fat girl. I don't have any stories about being called Big Bonnie Balloon Butt or anything like that. But I think that people need to take a step back and realize we're people. Fat is fat. Making the choice to be fat is the same as making the choice to smoke cigarettes. And people don't look at people who smoke cigarettes and say they're awful. Anyways, I'm running out of time and I've rambled on long enough. So have a good day and stay away from the cookies because I can't.